Ark Invest just bought over 1 million shares of this company for over $16 million. What is happening, investors? It is your boy Jack. I am not a financial advisor. I got the clothing line to prove that fact. And do we have any guesses? What company are we going to be speaking about today? I mean, even by Ark standards, that's a pretty decent purchase. The company is, boom, Palantir. So they went ahead and added over 1 million shares into their Ark W. Now, it should be noted straight away, this is nearly their smallest position in the Ark W. It carries just about 0.5% of the portfolio's weight. But we've seen Ark time and time again open up an initial position and continue to buy for days and days and weeks non-stop as it moves up the ranks. So it's going to be interesting to see if Ark does keep buying, considerable amounts over the weeks to come. But I've been getting asked by a lot of people to make a video on Palantir as of late. I saw Ark Invest buy all of these shares, and Palantir's Q3 earnings came out very recently, so no better time than now. So Palantir actually only went public the 2nd of October, and not a lot really happened until the end of October, but since then we've been going on a very nice run. So we're currently sitting at $15.80 a share. In the pre-market we're up very nicely again. We have a market cap of about 26 billion. So we're going to speak about the company, what I think about them, we're going to speak about the Q3 earnings, and ultimately, do I think this is a stock to buy? Are we going to make a lot of money on this company? So right before we do get into the video, my friends, can I please ask you to hit that juicy like button in return for me doing this? Means a lot to me, helps me out with the YouTube algorithm. If you're new around here, please consider hitting that juicy red subscribe button and joining the family of investors. And drop me a comment down below. I want to know, what do you guys think of Palantir? Also, if you are interested, please hit the first link in the description and sign up to become a member of my Patreon. You get full access to my private Discord group, you get my buy and sell alerts. We speak about companies like this all day, every day, baby. It's an exciting community. Now, with that being said, straight into it. So in case you don't know who these guys are at all, okay? They're a big data and analytics software company. They're one of the most polarizing stocks out there. They were founded back in 2003 with capital raised from investors including the CIA. It offers software solutions to analyze data. Sounds simple. Their software solutions are on another level. Here's some of the people they work with, okay? The US Justice Department, the World Food Program, US Special Operations Forces, and so much more that we're going to be getting into in today's video. But these guys don't just give you an Excel sheet full of data. This is next level stuff. That's why very briefly I'm on this article right here that has the title, Despite Ethical Issues. Palantir provides, for example, mechanisms that the Immigration and Custom Enforcement Unit use to conduct its deportation raids. But this is what I really want to go through now, because now they're a publicly traded company. Before they were one of the most secretive private companies in the entire world. Now they're publicly traded, they have to be open about what's going on. The first thing I want to point out, which is absolutely awesome, Q3 2020 financial highlights. Revenue up 52% from Q3 2019. That is massive. That's crazy numbers. And their adjusted operating income or loss, look at that, my friends. That is absolutely incredible. From a $92 million loss to a $73 million income. We will get more into the financials down the line, but we're just going to spend a bit of time going through this. So the Roni forced institutions to transform quickly in order to survive. We are helping those customers do more with less. So this is one of the companies who actually has, to an extent been accelerated because of the Roni. An energy supplier deployed their ERP suite in hours. Within 2 weeks, they generated $57 million of cash savings and expect to generate $1 billion on an annualized basis. This is the kind of thing that their software is capable of. Look at this, guys. An aerospace customer signed the largest commercial deal we've ever done in the midst of a pandemic. This is an aerospace customer. They're not in very good positions right now. This is a $300 million 5-year renewal contract. That's huge. They've been around since 2003 and this is their biggest commercial deal ever. These guys are growing and you're going to see more about that very shortly. A top 5 pharmaceutical company is linking data from more than 2,000 clinical trials in Foundry to uncover trends across trials and securely analyze outcomes at a population level. This is insane. This is the kind of thing Palantir can do. They could be, as of this moment in time, contributing to the Roni going away. They work very closely with the government, okay? Their software has become the de facto operating system of US and allied defense. They signed a 2-year $91 million contract with the US Army Research Laboratory. Their software is becoming the infrastructure for the US healthcare system, from R&D to distribution, from public to private. There is loads more in this presentation, but I think that gives you an idea of just who these guys are working with. They're literally helping the US track the Roni vaccines. They also are powering the NHS England's allocation and distribution of more than 2.7 billion pieces of PPE. Now there's even more than everything I just spoke about, but the financial update. How is this company actually doing? Because obviously, if we are to be investing in a publicly traded company, We want them to be making money. That, in general, is what will make our shares go up in value, and that's what investors want ultimately. So they grew their revenue by more than 50% year over year in the third quarter of 2020. Now keep in mind, guys, this company has been around since 2003. So to see this growth happening today, so many years later, is big. This isn't a startup. This isn't a company who's been around for a year or two. It's not a pre-revenue company. This is an established business working with government. We continue to grow existing contracts as our customers derive more value from their software subscriptions, okay? So average revenue per customer went up 38%, and that's the 9 months ended September 30th from 2019 to 2020. That's amazing. By keeping the same customers, they're making an extra 38%. Their average revenue of the top 20 customers that they have also saw similar growth, up 36%. Now this is something very interesting and something that gets me personally excited about this, okay? So revenue from our top 20 customers continues to grow, while customer concentration is decreasing. So in the 9 months ended September 30th, 2019, revenue from the top 20 customers comprised 68% of total revenue. But as of 2020, that was brought down to 61% of total revenue. So this is fantastic, because obviously the less you have to depend on those customers, on just those 20, the better. If you were to lose your biggest customer and they're 10% worth of your revenue, that would be absolutely terrible. So I like to see this. We're obviously working with more and more people. And keep in mind, guys, the revenue went up so much as well. If the revenue hadn't have gone up, I imagine that they would have equated for a whole lot less revenue. So whatever way you try to look at this, it's absolutely fantastic in my opinion for the company. So in the third quarter of 2020, our commercial business grew 35% year over year. So obviously very, very good as well. When a lot of people think about Palantir, we're going to think about government contracts. It really is that simple. But the commercial business is growing very quickly as well. And you'll see that here, the government business grew 68% year over year. So all aspects of their business model are growing. The acquire phase, the expand phase, and the scale phase. In addition to customers accounted for by our 3-phase model, revenue from customers acquired in the 9 months ended September 30th, 2020, okay, grew by 175% year over year. Wow. We are signing up new customers and converting them to significant revenue generating positions in record time. That's what we want to see. These guys are taking advantage of this opportunity that has been put in front of them. The Roni has come along and essentially said, you need to do a better job, you need to speed up, and they have done that. Now, gross margin excluding, very important, excluding stock-based compensation was 81%, up from 70% in Q3 2019. And they also have $1.8 billion of cash and equivalents as of September 30th, 2020. So they did release full year 2020 guidance, both for revenue and adjusted operating income. Everything looks fantastic. Q4, they're looking for 31% revenue growth. After that amazing Q3, they still want a lot more. And then they also want growth to be greater than 30% through 2021. So Ark does think this is clearly enough to, take an interest, to at least open a position in this company. Whether they continue to buy or not, this has piqued their interest without a doubt. And I must say, it has done the same for me. This is a company I was looking at well before they actually went public, before we even knew they were guaranteed to go public. And I was very interested to see what kind of valuation they would have when they went public. I was interested to see, would people be excited about these guys? And I remember being in my Discord the day they went public, and it was very underwhelming. A lot of people bought and sold on the same day. There was a lot of sideways trading for a long time, as I briefly said earlier on in the video, before we finally started to make some nice moves. But when you see the list of customers we're working with and the year over year growth, I think there's a lot of potential. Now, it should also be understood, they're not exactly the biggest company in the world yet, let's be honest. Q3 2020 gross profit of 140,000, add stock-based compensation at 94,000. I do think if you're looking at Palantir, it should be looked at a medium to long-term hold at least though, because keep in mind, a lot of their contracts last years. You will actually see that if you have a look right here, the expected average contract duration as of right now is about 3.6 years. And obviously you would expect a lot of them to get renewed or put on for another 3.5, 4 years, whatever it ends up being down the line. Which is nice because you can expect steady revenue. You're not going to be seeing really choppy Q1, Q2, Q3. It should hopefully, all going well, be a slow and steady growth towards the upside. Now there honestly aren't the most analysts in the world covering this as of yet. If we go to Yahoo Finance, we can see there are 6. Currently an average price target of $14 a share. We're sitting at $15.80 pre-market today. We have highs of 18s and lows of 10s. But what you can see is that in regards to EPS, okay, next quarter, March 2020, we have an average estimate of 0.02, but for next year, that shoots up to 0.11. And their sales growth is at 31.6% for next year, which falls pretty much in line with the lower end of what Palantir set out for themselves. Now, in the short term, I most certainly am of the opinion that absolutely anything could happen here. I think we could shoot up, we could continue shooting up, or we could pull back. I mean, our max stock chart, we don't really have that much to go off of, do we? We have this initial somewhat period of consolidation. It's been up and down. It's been very choppy. We have all-time highs of exactly 17. Pre-market, we're trading very close to there. We could make new all-time highs today after opening at about 1450 on Friday. I do believe that if they can keep up this level of growth, and if they can keep, in particular, their government contracts growing and growing at this kind of rate year over year for the next few years, I think they could definitely turn into a much larger company with a lot more revenue than they are right now. And I do think it could be a great long-term hold. In the short term, you can see it just by looking at the chart. It's been very choppy. I think absolutely anything could happen. 10, 15, 20% moves over the span of a day or two in either direction are not going to surprise me. But I must be honest, I am contemplating opening up a long position relatively soon. I don't have a particular price point I'm looking at. I may buy at market today. I will have to wait and see. If you want to know if I do end up buying these guys again, please hit that first link in the description. If you sign up to my Patreon, you'll get full access to my buy and sell alerts, baby. But anyway, guys, that is where I stand on these guys right now. I just wanted to make a quick little video to let you guys know what I'm thinking. If you enjoyed the video, took some value, entertainment, please consider hitting that like button. Maybe drop me a comment down below. And of course, subscribe if you're new around here. If you watched this video all the way till the end, you, my friend, are a true legend. I appreciate you being here from the bottom of my heart. Have a fantastic day. Peace.